Hello, this is Manuel Cairo Rodriguez, Associate Professor at the University of Vigo and IEEE Senior Member. From a practical point of view, the use of open educational resources involves many issues that need to be considered. In this session, we are going to see some of them. Open educational resources are not static entities, but living beings. The life cycle begins with a desire to learn or to teach something. As a teacher or as a student, you have some need. From this need, the following sequence of steps are produced. First, to find, looking for suitable resources that can be used. Second, create or adapt. You can create a new educational resource from scratch or modify existing one. Third, combine. For example, aggregating documents, questionnaires, and exercises into a textbook. And fourth, the actual use of the resource in the classroom, online, during informal learning activities, etc. And finally, share. New resources can be made available for the open educational community. The open educational resource life cycle can be directly related to the 5 R's, as proposed by David Willey. These 5 R's recognize 5 different rights: retain, the right to make, own, and control copies of the content; reuse, the right to use the content in a wide range of ways, in class, in a study group, on a website; revise, the right to adapt, adjust, modify, or alter the content itself, for example, to translate the content into another language; remix, the right to combine the original or revised content with other material; and redistribute, the right to share copies of the original content, your revisions, or your remixes with others. In order to achieve these 5 rights, it's important not just to make the resources freely available on the web, but also to do it in an appropriate way to facilitate others retaining, reusing, revising, remixing, and redistributing. This involves different issues, both legal and technical. What kind of license to use? What kind of format? What kind of tool? At this point, there are some disagreements, even among experts, related to the licenses. Some Creative Commons licenses place requirements and restrictions. For example, requirements such as share alike, mandating that derivative works adopt a certain license, and restrictions, for example, non-commercial, prohibiting commercial use. This can be right, but the inclusion of requirements and restrictions in open licenses makes open educational resources less open than they would be without them. Some authors demand that just CC BY is the real open license. What about the formats and tools? There are similar disagreements. In general, formats or open source tools are preferred, if possible. In any case, it's very important to share source files, not just the formats ready for printing or viewing. Let's see which ones to use. This slide includes some open formats for different types of content: multimedia, text, file compression, audio, geospatial, and others. The more open a file format is, the less expensive and possibly easier it will be for the people to remix the files. Nevertheless, despite this compilation, it's impossible to come up with definitive statements about which formats are optimal for remixing. If you are in doubt about which formats to use, check an open educational resource repository that has resources similar to the one you are creating, and see which format they use. This slide shows some open source tools that can be used to create open educational resources. There are many different tools available. Some comments. Audacity is the most widely used open source audio editing tool, while MPlayer can play a wide range of formats. GIMP is a powerful image editor similar to Photoshop, and so on. Notice many online editors are available freely to create different kinds of resources, for example, Google Docs. To finish this section, we would like to say that all tools, formats, licenses, and other elements are part of the open educational resources ecosystem. This ecosystem is also a living entity, being constantly updated from emerging technologies, advances in research, actors involved, policies, etc. In this session, we have seen how some of these elements are involved in the open educational resource life cycle. It's important to notice that all of us, as teachers and students, can play a key role in order to make it a lively ecosystem full of open educational resources.